All right, just a little practice today on ionic compounds. All right. Remember, with ionic compounds, we're talking about a metal and a non-metal. So that's one way we can look at this, is if we see a metal and a non-metal in our compound, that's an ionic compound. So if we have something like Mg and O, that was an ionic compound. All right. Another one that we've started to run across had polyatomic ions. So, and in this case here, if we see more than 2 capital letters, that means that there's 3 or more elements, and that's a polyatomic ion, which still forms using an ionic bond. So if we see something like BeNO3, if we see something like this, we will get 1, 2, 3 capital letters, and therefore we're going to have polyatomic ions. Let's take a look at a few just to get a bit more practice. So let's say we want to write the formula for beryllium oxide. I'm going to go to my periodic table and I'm going to find beryllium and oxygen. I'm going to add the combining capacities for both, and then we're going to cross over. This is the crossover method. So I'm taking that 2 and going to cross over this 2, cross that over, and we get Be2O2. One last step here, because there's both 2, we can reduce. All right, this is the specific ratio. We don't need 2 of each. We really can reduce this to just BeO, where we need 1 of each. Remember, as a dot diagram, beryllium will have 2 extras, and oxygen will have 6. I'll do it like this. Oxygen will have 6, so it will take this one, and it will take this one. So we only need 1 of each, and both of them would be happy. All right, what if we see something like this, copper 2 chloride? Okay, the 2 is our Roman numerals. That's indicating which combining capacity for copper we're going to use. Because if we go to copper on my periodic table, I actually have a +1 and a +2. Well, the 2 in my name means that I'm using copper 2. And then I find chlorine, chloride. There we are with the Cl. That is not right. Let's change that. That is Cl for chlorine. Now we cross over again. The 2 crosses over. The 1 crosses over. And we don't have to write the 1s, so we're going to get Cu, Cl2. So we got Roman numerals. All right, let's try titanium 4 nitride. So I'm going to my periodic table and I'm going to find titanium, and we just said that the 4 here means we're using the +4. There's a +3 and a +4. We want +4. Nitrogen is N and nitrogen is -3. Cross these over. I'm going to take the 3, cross it over, and the 4, cross that over. Now there's nothing we can do here, no reducing, no 1s to drop out, so it is just Ti3N4. Remember when we're writing these that we're trying to write those 4s as a subscript. We're writing them down towards the bottom. Now in one of our pieces of work on Edsby, another way that we can show that it is as a subscript would be putting those square brackets around it. So if we had Ti and then with the square brackets the 3 and 4, I would accept that too, because there was no way, unfortunately, on Edsby to do the subscript, so we're accepting this notation as well. Okay. All right, let's try one more. How about silver sulfate? So this is different here. We have a different ending. All the other ones ended in "ide." Remember when we name ionic compounds, we change the ending to "ide," unless we see something like this. If we see 8, that is the indicator that we have a polyatomic ion here. So we're going to have to use another chart. So I'm going to start with silver. Let's find silver on my periodic table, and that's actually Ag, and the combining capacity is +1. But then I'm actually going to go to my list of common polyatomic ions, and I'm going to look for sulfate. Sulfate is SO4, and its combining capacity, it says 2 negative or -2. Now, what we've been doing is putting brackets around that whole ion, and then we cross over. We got a 1, and we cross over, and we have a 2. Now, once again, we can drop that 1 out of there. We don't need that 1. And because there's only one of these ions, we actually don't need the brackets either. So we can go Ag2, SO4. And we have silver sulfate. All right, keep practicing. There's going to be another one shortly with naming the compounds.